All right, and we're back. 4th and Inches, episode number 2. G, it's a blessing to be here in Weston, Florida at the West Express Flag Football Camp. We get to check out the females today, Coach. Girls flag football. It's going to be exciting. What do you think about it?
Man, it's awesome. Like, just to be a part of something like this. You know, Nike's this is a Nike camp. Nike's hosting this.
Yep.
This is amazing. Be given the opportunity to be here. I love that the girls are getting their moment. You know, like this. That's the coolest part about all this.
I'm excited.
The girls get their moment. Like, this is their time to shine. They get their flowers. You know, we're gonna be interviewing some really good guests today. We have our first NIL deal young lady. She'll be on our cast today.
Yep.
And that'll be great just to see how she got there and what it takes for female athletes to get to where they want to be and what their goals are. So this is cool. This is fun. This is gonna be a pretty cool event. I'm just excited to see kind of like what the girls are doing, because right now they're going through some trainings.
Yeah,
like,
we got the combine going on behind us.
Yeah, they got some stuff. They're hard at work. They're working. So this is gonna be fun. So I love it.
And it's crazy. We show up and, most of the coaches that are running this event we know and have coached with before. It's just kind of crazy. This world of football, we think we're stepping into a whole new universe with girls flag, and we can just kind of right back to feeling at home, just like it's any other football field that we walk onto. We know somebody knows us.
Yep.
We're at home, no matter where this grass is green. You know what I'm saying? If they're playing ball on it, we probably know somebody there.
Yeah. And again, you're right. There's some real good dudes out here, like some real good coaches, some guys that are like really know some football, and it's just cool. Like I say it all the time. Like I've coached girls flag in the past, and the girls are tough.
Oh yeah,
they want it. They're hungry. They're hungry.
It's a totally different dynamic. Like, the listeners don't know, I'm a school teacher, right? I teach seniors and some freshmen in the study hall. But in today's era, the girls are savage.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted.
They're
I got girls that are ready to throw down.
No, they're ballers.
Okay, they'll square up with you. They'll hit on you in the hallway as you're walking by. I've seen girls catcall dudes walking by and sweat. Coach, I swear to God, the times have changed, and these girls are out here competing.
Yeah.
So talking to these coaches, seeing what we're about to see out here, it sounds like they're about to get after it. They're trying to see who the best in the country is, Coach. And from the sounds of it, we might have the best in the country sitting down with us today. So
Definitely.
I'm excited to see what that's about. We talked about it. Who's going to be that first name? Who's going to be the girls flag football player that breaks through that everybody knows?
Yeah, everybody knows.
We just had Caitlin Clark with the WNBA, right? We see women's sports exploding. It's in the news all the time.
Yep.
We want to shine light on the football side of that, because I think a lot of people don't know, man, that girls flag football is a college scholarship sport.
Oh.
Your daughter can play flag football and get school paid for.
Definitely.
Like the game has changed, Coach. So it's time to shine some light on the ladies and give them their flowers. So that's why we're here today, man. I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm glad that you even said about having girls get scholarships, because there's some college coaches here right now. So
yes,
that's great. You know what I'm saying? That's different. Like, that must be a real satisfying thing for the girls, to be able to have that opportunity to see that there's love. Like,
Coach, there's bread. There's bread to be taken. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yes.
bags to be grabbed out there, and I'm excited that the girls get a chance to go get theirs. You know what I'm saying? So sitting down talking to the guys, the OGs that are kind of at the forefront of this game, we get to see exactly how they're building it, how they're doing it, and again, give you guys a peek behind the curtain at home as to what you can get your son and daughter involved in, what there's to be excited about,
Correct.
upcoming in the game of football. Like, guys, this is an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
It's the real deal. Flag football is not going anywhere. So you can be a hater on it all you want. Oh, it's not contact. It's not knockout clips. This, that, the third. The highlight tapes are still fire, Coach. You can throw them on. You're going to see one-handed catches. You're going to see crazy stuff going on. And it's going to be a game changer when this thing gets national.
You want to upset some people with this comment. I might upset a few people.
Let me hear it.
7-on-7's watered down.
Ooh. Whoa.
Like, I don't care what you say.
Well, you say everybody and their brother are having a 7-on-7 tournament these days, Coach?
Everybody has a 7-on-7.
Okay.
I'm so tired of seeing a 7-on-7. Like, and there's
See a new flyer every week, huh?
There's no real true skill set. Like,
what are they teaching, Coach? Let me ask you this: have you ever heard a coaching point at a 7-on-7 tournament?
I haven't seen it.
Have you seen it?
No.
I see all these crazy route trees, as an offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? The longer the lines get my anxiety goes up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They're asking me to do a much harder job.
How you block all that?
You know
That's
what I'm saying? The
great.
longer those squiggly lines tend to get. You know what I'm saying?
Blocking all that?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right,
We'll
we're
find a
gonna
way.
block all that. Yeah, I'm telling you, the 7-on-7 world right now, it's great. It's obviously doing this thing, but it's watered down. Like 7-on-7 flag, just flag period. It's just.
You think it's gonna take over?
Do I? I know it's gonna take over. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Down the road, we're gonna have this conversation again, and flag is gonna be a big deal. Like
Coach.
flag is a big deal. Like that. I'm being honest. This is where it's at. Like flag is. It takes a skill set to do flag football. Like
So, I'm fired up.
the hardest thing to do is pull a flag. Like that's hard. Like
1,000%.
That's
but
hard.
they're going to be running around doing skills, and I'm excited to see what the game's about. Like I have no idea.
Oh.
But the thing I'm most excited about, you got baby girl at home. I got 2 little nieces, okay, Haven and Grace. Haven, my little 2-year-old, she's about to be 2, Coach, and she's already a young little athlete. She's going
There you
crazy.
go.
I showed her to you this morning. So I'm excited to get educated so that I can bring this to the table as an option. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I'd be able to translate the football life that we live to my family and the little baby nieces that I have now.
Definitely.
So
This is a growing, rapid sport. It really is. And like these girls are true athletes. Like they're the real deal out here. Watch, you're gonna see. Like there's some girls that I've been to co-ed leagues and teams and I'm like, whoa, like some of these girls
Real
outball
deal.
some of the boys.
Well, we're about to see it today, Coach.
So-
I'm sure you guys will be seeing the highlights behind us
Yeah,
the whole time we're
definitely,
talking.
definitely.
I'm fired up to get some guys on the desk, Coach, to get talking to them.
Yeah.
Get educated about the development piece of this, what's out there for parents and players to be able to make sure they're ready to perform at events like this, because we know this is game day for a lot of these girls to be able to perform on a showcase level like this.
Most importantly, we want to know the do's and don'ts. Like what
1,000%.
parents what they should be doing and what they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like that's important. We want to know. And I think when you have colleges and they're telling you exactly what they're looking for, this might be a lot easier for them. Like for parents to make a decision. That
And that's ultimately what we're here for,
Yeah.
Coach.
We
We're
wanna
here to
educate.
We're
We
here
wanna
to
educate.
educate the parents, the coaches on how they can reach their goals and where they say they want to go. And that starts with transparency. It starts with talking to the source on what they're looking for.
What they're looking
So
for.
we're excited to bring that to
Yeah.
you guys, man. Hope you're excited to listen to it.
Definitely, we want transparency. That's what we're going to look for on this episode with our flag, with the flag league itself, and then also with the coaches. So that's what we want to
West
see.
Express, Coach. West Express, we're
man.
excited about it.
West Express, man, they doing big things. They got a lot of girls out here, man, and they're running 40s. They're running shuttles.
Coach, they ain't local. They're national.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
They're
it's
everywhere.
a big deal going
They're
on
everywhere.
here. So
So
we're excited to spread the word, man. See what we got. Let's get it going.
All right, so we got our first guest up. Before we put any of the girls up or any of the college coaches, we have our these 2 individuals are 2 special individuals, at least to me, 2 former players of mine that are actually doing the same thing that I used to do, and I do mean used to because I don't train like that anymore. So I'm gonna introduce Primetime Performance. They actually met through me, and they actually kind of it worked out for them. They do everything together. They train together. They do run all their speed stuff and all their speed camps and their strength and conditioning programs. They do a lot of great things. I've seen a lot of development from their kids. Just from such a short period of time. I think they've had a group for maybe about 2-3 months, and they have been blowing up. Kids are changing. I've seen so much progression out of their kids just because I've been privileged enough to be around them so much and see what they're doing. So, needless to say, I'm going to introduce Coach Red and Coach Greg. Kind of tell us a little bit, Coach Greg, about yourself, your background, where you came from, what you've done. Just a little bit about yourselves to see how we go.
All right.
Nike Head Greg on Instagram.
Nike Head Greg, baby.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for allowing us to be on this platform to be able to share our stories and expose ourselves out there for the community, for the kids, and just provide a light, shine a light on what we're doing. But like Coach said, name's Greg McCray. He was my coach at Miramar High School. My very first coach, my first interaction when I got to Miramar to go play football was Coach Gary Sanchez, and it was tough. It was definitely tough, but he was big on developing character more than anything. He always wanted the best from his players. He always demanded the best, and he wasn't going to accept anything less. And I feel like that has helped shape the man I've become today. So, I just want to go ahead and just give you your flowers early and thank you for what you've done for me in my life.
Appreciate that, man. And it's been an honor, honestly, man. What you've done, you've paid it back tenfold. You've done a great job. Like you're a stand-up man. You care about the community. You care about the kids. You never ever put us in a situation where I never felt that you're doing it for the money. And a lot of these trainers out here, man, I'm gonna expose them too now. A lot of these trainers out here they're collecting money. So I always give this example of there's two kind of trainers. It's the trainer that either he's generating money or he's collecting money. And the collecting money guy, that's the bad trainer. That's the trainer that you want to run away from. And I'm letting all parents know, if that guy's just collecting money, there ain't gonna be no development. When a guy is generating money, right? Let's just at the end of the day, let's talk about the money aspect. There has to be growth. There has to be something where guys are learning. Yeah. Like kids are learning. Like, and I don't see that a lot, honestly. But when I see you guys and I interact with parents that deal with you guys, and I'm like, and that's what I hear. Like, Coach, we love it here only because the development part. So you guys are doing a great job from that aspect. Away from that, I know that you played at Miramar High School. You've done great. Let us know where you went to college at, and then after college, where did you land?
Okay, so I went to college at UCF. It actually wasn't my initial college. I went to the Naval Academy first, and then from there I transferred to UCF. Okay. I played 4 years at UCF. Ended up going professionally, playing in the CFL for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for 3 years, and that's just been my journey as far as football goes. Now I'm back home, and like I said, I'm training with the kids and trying to develop.
So now, what would you tell the kids, like from a development standpoint? What are they supposed to be doing? Like, what would you tell a young kid that's 8, 9, 10 years old? Because that's how young they're training now. Right. And if you're not, then something wrong with you.
How do you separate yourself, man? I mean, we see 100 girls out here. I'm sure they all want to do great things. How do these young guys separate themselves with development?
Well, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. You got to want to be better, and you got to go out and do the things to get better. It's not just about having a mindset, but you have to take the steps that go into doing that, which is going out and training, just at home, doing the extra due diligence of like even sometimes just watching film on certain players' highlights. Those are the things that I did when I was younger. I used to just look up old players that, played before my time, players that were playing during my times, players that were in college, the players that were at places that I wanted to be at, see how they did things, see how they trained, what kind of drills they did when they trained, and try to surround myself with, at the best I could, the people that was going to develop me and cared about my development, because like you say, there's a lot of trainers out there that don't really care about development. They just want to collect money. And that's something that I do not I just, quite frankly, don't like it because, just collecting money. What are we doing? You want to. My goal is to get the kids better.
Yeah. And we see a lot of that. You
guys both talk about that. Like, what does that coach look like that's just collecting money? Like, these parents are sitting here. They want to avoid those people. They want to get around the development people. Like, what does that look like? They're just blowing whistles. They're just running through drills. What does the bad coach look like?
Well, for one, it's the coach that doesn't build a relationship with the player.
Big time.
Big. That's big.
Because
that's
I don't care who you are, where you're at in your stage of development. Any player that feels like their coach cares about them will run through a brick wall for them.
1,000%. 100%.
And they will do everything in their power to make sure that they are not necessarily not disappointing themselves, but just not disappointing their coach and trying to, make sure that they do things the right way because they care about their coach. They care about the way that their trainer perceives them and making sure that they, do things right for them because they don't want to disappoint them.
So what do you tell these adults? What do you tell these coaches that, like, man, I ain't trying to be friends with these kids. Like, I'm here to get a job done. They can listen to me or they can get the hell off my team.
Well, I think there's a fine line because at a certain point, yes, there is a level of respect when it comes to running a business, but there's also a level of respect when it comes to building a relationship. and intertwining those two to make sure the player understands, like, yes, it's my business, but I do still care about you
1000%.
as a person, as a player, and your development, not just on the field and your sport, but beyond that. And that's what I'm saying. It continues to build a relationship with the parents, whoever it is that you're that player or athlete is around his family. You just got to always continue.
That's why I call it a
build
mentorship, coach. You know what I mean? You're describing all aspects of life.
Right.
Like an older brother, like a father figure. I mean, it really is an all-encompassing mentorship when you're doing it the right way.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
We got to get this guy. We got to get Crimson football in here, coach.
You know it.
What's going on with Red? I know,
How you guys
got to
doing?
tell
How
me
you guys
what that
doing?
film looked like, coach.
Yeah.
With this
Yeah.
guy dropping back because, he loves to talk. So I feel like the film must have looked pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, played for me. I've known him since he's like, I think 11, 12 years old.
12 years old.
12
yeah.
years old. Played quarterback. I kind of developed him as a quarterback. A lot of guys didn't think that he may be able to do the job or get the job done, and I felt like he can be a guy that.
Is it the red hair, coach? Is that why they didn't think he was athletic?
I think that played a part in it.
That played a role.
That played a part in it for sure. Little backstory,
Yeah.
funny fact actually with this guy over here. He actually saw me in a football camp, before I even started playing ball,
Really?
before I even started playing tackle. He's actually the one that drove me to play tackle football because I was just there in a football camp. I was young. Old boy just kind of put me into something for the week,
Something like this.
Something like this.
Yeah.
But he saw me throwing a little bit, so he was the one that kind of sat down with my dad and told him, hey, bro, there's potential there. Kind of put him into tackle, kind of took me under his wing. Life is so small. I ended up playing for him in high school also, junior and senior year. When he was in Hialeah, he came back. He was at Miramar, came back to Hialeah. I was his quarterback for end of junior year, senior year. And he's a big part of why I ended up playing college ball too. A lot of people, it's kind of, again, backpack what he was saying. A lot of people didn't believe in me, especially late in high school.
Yep.
Once you don't generate the offers, you don't generate the hype as a quarterback, it's a little difficult for people to kind of stick with you.
I hear that.
Especially down here in South Florida. It's easy to kind of catch the hype train with some guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm doing it myself, it's easy to just get a guy who can throw it 60 yards, clip him, put him on Instagram, and say I trained him. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear that. 1,000%.
See that all the time.
It's super
You
easy to do
taking
that.
credit
Let me
for
get
a
on my
kid's
Instagram.
work
I'll show you a
just
few of
'cause you're
those.
working them out for an hour.
It's super easy to take credit for God's gift. You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
So, that's why I condone this guy so much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I kind of do what I do the way that I do it. Kind of just try to mimic him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the kids that I deal with, they're either just starting out, either flag kids just getting into tackle, or tackle kids that, coming from Hialeah, coming from a smaller school. So I find joy working with those type of kids just because it kind of reminds me of, the obstacles and the stuff I had to face when I was in high school. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and in essence, like, for them, it makes sense because they're getting kids that probably never played football in their life, and they're developing. And that's why I consider these guys really great trainers, because you're developing guys that probably never touched the football. They don't even know what a football looks like.
Nope.
The only football they know is soccer. So some of these kids are different. So for you guys to make the kid want to play football, love the game of football, and come and train and develop for the game of football, that's impressive. Like that's something that you guys do very well, and that's honorable. Just because a lot of guys won't take that opportunity to do what you guys are doing. Let's be honest. Like some of the
they
guys
don't
are
take
like,
the extra time to make the relationship.
You don't got
and-
talent? Oh, I don't want to coach you. You suck. I'm like,
You're a
oh,
bad look on my brand. You're not good enough to train with me.
why would you want to do that? Yeah.
It's crazy.
So like, and there's guys out there that just want the top tier player. I
Correct.
want to try it. Top tier guys. Oh, that's great. So you're developing a top tier guy. Yeah. All right.
What exactly are you doing? Managing
Nothing.
talent.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
we're here to develop raw talent, right? You
Correct.
talk about God's gift. A lot of times it takes time for those gifts to reveal
Yeah, yeah,
themselves.
100%.
Maybe, a lot of times the best kids at 12, 13 years old are not the best kids in high school because those gifts change.
because
your
other
ability
kids have the same
change.
gifts.
Correct.
Now, or better, bigger
Yeah, they
gifts.
just take a little longer to expose themselves.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And then just for the fact that you guys just put in that much time into your development, it's impressive,
Yep,
and
no doubt.
and even from your video, I don't have to be there to see your development. Just looking at you guys Instagram, following you guys Instagram, and away from that, like, let's not get it crazy. Like, you guys do primetime performance together, but the both of you have
separate
you're
entities as well.
separate entities that you do, your skill-specific stuff and you do quarterback stuff. So talk about like how easy or how hard is it to work with quarterbacks and to work with skill players that never played the game of football? Like, how hard is that?
We want to get in the nitty gritty. Like,
how hard is that?
It ain't easy. We know it. Let the people know.
Yeah, it's definitely an obstacle, especially for kids that, like you said, haven't played before, because you have to break it down to the smallest, minute detail.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times, you might be talking to them, saying certain things to them, and think you making clear sense. But you really not. And it's all foreign to them, and you got to realize that they have no idea. Yeah, they have no idea what. And sometimes you can just get going. You just talking, you look back at the kid, and he just looking at you, and you're like, okay, so let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's take it back to the basics, the premature basics, and that's the biggest thing, and the reason why I enjoy what I do so much is the development piece.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was playing in the CFL. I was deciding if I was going to go back up there and play or not, and and honestly, I was a little sad because I just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And once I went out there and I started training some of the kids, going out there being around the kids and just seeing the development from them when I was going out there coaching, that subsided completely. Yeah. I didn't have any. There was all that sadness that was over me. It left. Like I felt like I was where I needed to be. I felt like God put me there in that position for that reason. Definitely. And I was That's where awesome. I needed to be. And since then, I haven't had any urge to go back and play. I just enjoy going out there, seeing the kids develop, seeing the development of them from when I got them, from one day to the next day, from one day to the next week to the next month, and hopefully, over these next couple of years, when they continue to train with me and go through that process with me.
A couple of years.
Years.
Too long term.
That's how he's thinking.
Yeah. He wants to stay with the kid.
Correct.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
So just to let you know, Greg's the guy that retired me. After Greg stopped training,
have not seen this guy in the gym since.
I retired.
At all.
I'm not a trainer no more.
For everybody that don't know, Coach Gary was my off-season trainer. So every time I came home from the CFL college, he was my trainer during the off-season. So every off-season, I come in the morning, come work out, just me and him. We get our workout in, I go home, do what I got to do until I go back up to camp in May or June, whenever it was for the season. So that was our routine. And then one day I just came to him and involuntarily retired him. And I went to him and I told him, I was like, yo, I just trained this kid. I really enjoyed it. I want to get out there with the kids and see how it is. And me and him sat there and we had a conversation for probably about an hour and a half about, just different things, giving back to the community. And then, but I came back into the gym the next day in the morning, and Coach Gary Sanchez was nowhere to be found.
I was out.
He let you know he heard what he needed to hear.
I said, I'm done with my last guy. I owed him, and that's it. I'm out.
I said, say less.
I tell him every time, thanks for retiring me, brother. I tell him, I don't care. You retired me. I don't care. Hey, listen.
And then, like everything else with G, you come to find he's already got a plan for you. And that plan begins to reveal itself slowly but surely. And, and here we are.
That's a big thing too, because I didn't realize what he was doing in the moment, but it's like now looking back at it, it was it's crazy because you look back at it and you see that Coach Sanchez was really setting me up for the success I'm having now and the longevity in my career going forward. Because there would be times where I would be working out in the gym with him, and then some kids would come in. And then he'd be like, hey, Greg, go show him the workout. Go show him how to do it, And I'm just, he asked me for a favor. I'm thinking it's just a favor, I'm like, of course.
He testing the waters.
Let me just go over there, train him, show him what to do. We go out to the field. We catching passes, running routes and things like that. He brings some kids out, just show them how to run these routes, just show them how to do this. I'm like, I got him. So then he telling me, come out here with the kids, do this, come to this event.
Next thing you know, you're making T-shirts.
Now I'm wearing T-shirts.
You got something going on.
It's crazy. I got him. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I'm gonna tell you a very funny story. and he already know where it's going.
I know.
So one day I asked him, I was like, do you have a quarterback that could throw for us? And he was like, yeah, I got a quarterback for you. So I done gathered me, another one of my boys. We gonna go out there. We gonna run some routes at one of the parks down here.
Before he finishes his story, I'm super glad Gary did this, by the way. Extremely happy.
Yeah,
he's gonna explain why.
So I go out to the park, and when I get out there, I just see a whole bunch of kids running around, and Coach Gary talking about can you come help me out with these sodas and drinks and stuff like that? I'm sitting there, I'm like, sodas?
You to work.
Sodas? So they got a whole bunch of coolers, taking food out the trunk. I'm like, oh, I guess we grubbing after we work out.
Coach got a barbecue plan.
Man,
He really thought about me.
I'm helping set up at this park for like 40 minutes, sitting there waiting to get my workout on. All of a sudden, more kids come, and then all of a sudden now it's a whole ceremony or I don't really know. It was like
the banquet.
It was a banquet,
It was a football banquet
for the little league Little League part.
Yeah.
So safe to say I didn't work out that day. I got put to work.
Tricked them.
Man, but I
It
ended
wasn't
up,
just him. It was
but-
him and like 8 other guys.
Yes, all of us. I'm thinking I'm finna come work out, but that's what I'm saying. Like
There
put me
was a workout.
there was a
That's why he
workout.
wasn't really lying
Taking
to you.
everything
Yeah,
from
it
the
was.
car.
There was a workout.
was.
You were helping with the workout.
It was hard. It was hard work. It was
Right.
hard labor. Yeah. It was hard.
But my whole main point in saying that is that it's crazy because a lot of those kids, parents, people that was at that banquet are the people that I'm training now. My business partner is that's where I met him at, and that's how we started to build our relationship from that simple
Making jokes
fib,
about how the hell you ended
from
up
that
there.
fib.
Like really.
Basically making
From
jokes
that
about Gary.
field.
Basically making jokes about Gary.
Now these two peas in a
No,
pod.
it's joking about that. Well, look, to see how
But
things
it's
work
crazy
out.
because like now like I said, a lot of the kids that we train that we work out and that we built those relationships with are a lot of people that from that banquet that came to play at the park. Like I said, I met Red there, and since then it's been a blessing because I just didn't notice what you were doing for me then, but I'm just super blessed to be in this position now, and I'm very grateful for you putting me in that position. So
Yes, sir.
I
And
really appreciate
and
that.
just to stay on the topic, so I give you your flowers too. Crazy enough, I was at that awards ceremony. Similar situation, not the same. Everyone has
You were
it.
the quarterback he was bringing.
No, I was actually with Andrew. Shout out to Andrew Endorf, St. Thomas
Oh,
quarterback.
my guy.
Coach,
My guy.
But
My guy. 4.
but
4. It don't matter. It's a lot.
4. But that was I actually ended up getting to that award ceremony similar way. Coach Gary, I went through my own trials and tribulations with life. And Coach Gary, that's kind of how he egged it on. He egged it on with the kids. So he said, hey, why don't you come out, kind of help me train with the kids, help me train, help me with what I'm doing out there with Hialeah. That's how he started. That's how he threw the little seed. And then you start going little by little. It's kind of like what Greg said. I started liking what I was doing. And God doesn't make mistakes, So
Yeah,
again,
amen to that.
to give you your flowers. My man, you always know what you're doing. I think I can speak for us three when I say that you really do your part when you don't need to, and you really do think about other people when you don't have to. So I do want to give you your flowers for that, for sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, but you really look at it like a mentorship, You didn't even coach me, but I mean, obviously the same goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's special. It's special the worldview you take, coach, and the pride you take in lifting others up. So, absolutely, I just wanted to add on to the end of that, giving you your flowers because you deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, facts. That's why when you guys were talking with Coach Greg about relationships and stuff, that's crazy to me. How some coaches can just show up somewhere because it's deeper
Have
than
no
football
interest.
sometimes,
They have no interest in having relationships with the kids
Yeah.
and what they're going through or hearing them out or even having a 2-3 word conversation with them. And it's unfortunate.
And they just don't know what because I feel like all of us here have a relationship outside of football, but it started because of football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, so it's
All my
It's
relationships.
a football
All my
family.
close
football is a special
relationships
place,
football
man.
family.
It's a special place if you respect the game, and I feel like that's what sometimes gets me a little aggravated about.
People
These
in general.
trainers and these
People in general.
these coaches
Yeah,
nowadays,
people in general.
they don't respect the game, so sometimes it gets a little wonky.
They think that the game owes
No
them
doubt.
something.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
There's fault everywhere, man. The players, the parents, the
Everybody,
coaches,
everybody,
the
yeah.
trainers.
But that's why we
You know.
set this platform so we can educate,
and collaborate.
Like, listen, there's going to be a lot of things I say here and Coach Bud say here on this podcast now and in the future that's going to rub a lot of guys the wrong way, and it's okay.
Totally okay.
You're invited to anybody. Listen, which one's on me? This camera right here. Anybody that has a problem with anything that me and Coach Bud say, you are more than welcome to be a guest on our podcast. Whenever and however you want. If you feel like we're saying something false, then come. But don't come here. Oh, my homeboy, my friend, I don't want to hear that. I want actual, factual facts. Bring it to the table, and we'll handle it.
Can I add one little piece, Coach? You have to be semi-relevant if you're just a nobody.
Yeah.
You know, we'll let you chirp. You know,
We'll let
there's
you
going to
chirp.
be plenty of those, too. You have to actually kind of be somebody to sit down here.
Wow.
I just wanted to add that
You're
in.
such a jerk.
I'm sorry.
And I love it. All right. Guys, I want to thank you guys, man, for real. I appreciate you guys. Pub your Instagrams. Tell everybody, about your Instagram, how to find y'all,
Yes,
where to
yes,
find
yes.
y'all.
These guys up.
Instagram, _ primetime performance for our joint stuff. We do everything from youth training all the way up to high school training, speed, agility, strength, anything you guys need. For the quarterback stuff, any quarterbacks out there want some work, youth all the way to high school, even all the way getting ready for college, _ Crimson Academy. And I'm going to leave it up to Greg for his stuff.
Yeah, for my Instagram is G5 Power Performance. I do a lot of skill work, receivers, running backs, DBs, linebacker. I've had the opportunity to play at a high level, and so I try to teach the game the right way. I try to teach it in a way that to the next level. So if you're an optimist kid, I want to teach you at a high school level. If you're a high school kid, I want to teach you at a college level. Yep. College, I want you teaching at a pro level. I just want to make sure that I teach you guys the right way, the fundamentals firstly. Because I see, and that's another thing why got me into coaching is because I went out there and I seen that a lot of kids were learning things the wrong way fundamentally. Yep. And that is, it's sad to see, because these kids they looking up to these adult figures and they're telling them to do something and they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it, but they're teaching them the wrong way, and sometimes they even teaching them with no passion. They just out there, like you said, collecting checks.
Yep,
so,
collecting.
I'm trying to do it the right way. I want to be able to have the kid leave there and feel like he actually got better, feel like he took something, whether it's just a token of what I said or they felt better with their footwork, whatever it is. I just want them to got 1% better.
Every day, man. That's what it's about.
Thank
you, boys.
Thank you,
Love
guys.
you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Man.
Appreciate
Love
y'all,
man.
boys.
I appreciate y'all.
All right, so we're here with one of the college coaches that's here to recruit some of the players at this lovely event. We have Coach Kidwell with Campbellsville University. Coach, pleasure to have you on. Thanks for coming.
I appreciate it very much.
Tell us about your program, man. Tell us about yourself and what you're doing down here in South Florida getting after these girls.
All right, so we got connected with Coach Antoine and the Nike camp. This is actually our third event we've been to through him, and we're down here recruiting and trying to find some talent from South Florida. This is Florida's the mecca from where flag football has begun and been going for a long time, and we actually have 5 girls from Florida that are on our team right now.
Oh, now, okay.
Yeah, currently. So that we are getting ready to start our 3rd season.
Okay.
We are NAIA school, 4-year college, and currently the only university in the state of Kentucky. That's getting ready to change. We've got some other schools that are joining in the next year or so.
Okay.
But we've been, like I said, this is starting our 3rd year in the
How
program.
many scholarship spots do you have, Coach, for your school? How does that work?
Well, so most of our scholarships comes from academics.
Okay.
We do have flag scholarships. But we do stack too.
Okay, those are broken up.
Yep. So we've got 4 scholarships that's divided amongst our roster.
Okay.
So it varies. It kind of depends on where they come in on their academics. Again, Campbellsville is very strong on the academic side, and the biggest majority of the money they receive is from academics, and then we put flag on top of it. There's some other scholarships also that are out there. There's faith-based. We're a Christian university, private college.
That's awesome.
And so there's opportunity to have other scholarships as well.
Okay.
You know, so there's like I always tell people, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, I mean that's the way they do it for tackle. With it's not full rides. They piece it together.
So and then you know Campbellsville's had a tackle football team for many years. Actually, I'm an alumni. Played there back in the early days when it first started.
So you're
yes.
you're from there. Right?
Yes, I am. I'm an alumni from there. My background is I worked in public schools for 27 years. Was a principal and teacher and football coach for 27 years, and then when I retired, the athletic director at CU and I used to coach tackle football together.
Okay.
And
there you go, football family. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when they were getting ready to start the flag program, he contacted me and said, "Hey, I've got something I want you to look into," and it was very new to me. New to the state, so I had to do a lot of research as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why we're here, because we're here
That's
to get
right.
educated.
Yeah, so it's a great sport, and it's a great opportunity for these young ladies, you know, to get a scholarship and to play the game they love. You know, football is the only sport that did not have a companion to it. Like, you know, soccer has men's and women's.
Yes.
You know, baseball has softball. You know, men's and women's basketball. Football was the only thing that really didn't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
And now with the flag being out there and being offered, and the NAIA is had it for several years, and more schools are adding on. Now you have NCAA Division II and III adding it. Junior college is adding it. You know, it's really exploding.
Yeah, definitely. And then, Coach, how different is it from, you know, you coaching tackle football to now coaching girls flag? Because I can tell you, the competitiveness in girls flag is.
Oh yeah, it doesn't
yeah, they set the bar high. Like
they get after it.
They get after it. They're eager to learn. They're hungry.
Right.
Is that something that you see also, or is just me envisioning this, or?
It's you know, when I first started, you know, I try to compare it to summer passing league. You know, when the high schools did 7-on-7.
Correct.
You know, so it has some similarities to that, but it's a different ball game altogether. You know, when the center can snap a ball and run a route.
That's the piece
It's
that most
huge.
people don't get. They think flag 7-on-7 are comparable, and they're really radically different.
There's different types of flag too. You know, there's 5-on-5, and I'm not taking away from that, but 7-on-7 I think is it's the premier, level. 7-on-7. You've got rushers coming. 1, maybe 2. There's no limits on that. There's only a 1 yard separation difference.
Yep.
And so you better be ready. You better have somebody that can snap the ball at least 8 yards deep.
Okay.
And you got to be ready to scramble, and you got to be ready to throw on a rope. And,
Correct.
So is the snap? Are they done after the snap, or is there a blocking element to this? Like
there is. It's very difficult. Usually, if you can get a little bit of a block, it's almost the blocking is kind of like basketball setting up a screen.
Correct.
Okay. So kind of a moving screen, but you can't
extend your arms.
You can't impede the rusher.
Right. You can't stick your knee out. You know, so you can establish your space.
So
and
feet and hips.
Yeah.
Okay.
Establish your space, and once contact's made, then that's kind of, for the most part, that's the end of.
You have to concede.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So
but I tell Coach Bud, like, the hardest thing to do, I think, in flag football is pull a flag.
It's very difficult.
It's difficult. And I tell kids all the time, like, you guys are playing football, these guys are playing flag football. And I honestly, personally think that flag football, particularly 7-on-7, there's flag period. I think there is a development part.
Oh,
you
yes.
know, it's not as easy as it looks. Like, you know, it's hard because you have a rusher. It's competitive.
Right.
I love it. I think I know you mentioned 7-on-7, and I'm one of those guys that I hate the 7-on-7 circuit. Like, I'm one of those guys. Like I said it to our last guest, I'm not a fan of 7-on-7 because I don't think it's realistic. Like,
It's not real football.
It's not real football because once, like you say it all the time,
That's the
once you start
differentiator.
seeing a bunch of squiggly lines and they're all upfield, what offensive line do you have that can block for all those route combinations? It just doesn't make any sense.
Not to a football field.
Not to a football field. So, like, flag is just a different component, and I love it. I think it is growing fast. It's growing in South Florida really fast, and I'm excited.
Internationally, we have an Olympic sport now.
We've got. I did in the last 2 weeks. We've done 4 Zoom calls, all internationals: Spain, Finland, Ontario, Canada. It's gone global as well. So it's something that's exciting to see.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Really,
it's great to hear.
And a lot of these girls too, they've got experience of playing maybe some tackle as well, and flag.
And flag.
Okay.
So, and obviously there's scholarships and opportunities right now for flag, unparalleled to anything that,
Yeah.
So is most of your recruiting happening at events like this? Is that why you're, attached to the Nike circuit, or is it too far and few in between at the high school level to really?
It is in our
entrenched there?
area. It's kind of like there's a line that stops at the state of Georgia.
Okay.
Okay.
Florida's huge with it in high school, obviously, in AAU
Correct.
circuit and that kind of stuff. And Georgia's right behind it.
Oh, okay, so Georgia's in that mix
yeah,
as
they-
well.
They love
see?
football up there.
Yeah, and it's they've had flag now, I think, sanctioned in high school for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
it's really growing now. Tennessee and Kentucky and up in Ohio, as you further north you go, I guess the thinner it gets. It's just some
got
very small pockets. Usually in large cities. Louisville, Kentucky was the first one to kind of get it going in our state, and they had a little fall league this year. Was the first time they had 12 high schools that participated in that. So again, I think that's going to grow each year.
It's
right?
growing.
It's
So
just slow. So we. A lot of our girls on our team, that especially the first year or two, were just multi-sport athletes.
I got you.
Maybe their dad was a football coach, or they had a brother that played football. They were a softball player and a basketball or volleyball player, and they just wanted to
Just
have
gifted
to try it.
athletically.
Yeah, and they were coachable, willing to work.
Gotcha.
And they're some of our best athletes and our best flag players now.
That's awesome.
So
That's
it's
awesome. So, Coach, how difficult is it for you to convince someone from down here to go to Kentucky and play?
Yeah, it's you got to find the right person.
Okay.
It's we have a if like I said, we're a Christian private school. We offer a lot of different degree programs.
Okay.
So academically, obviously you want it to be someone that's strong academic.
Okay.
But maybe they're looking, to do something different to get out. Maybe they want to do,
you gotta
get
talk to
outside
them.
of that shadow and step out on their own. So it does take a special person to go, multiple states away to school.
You got a few of them though. It's
Oh, we've
working.
got
Yeah,
we've got.
definitely.
The pitch must be
That's
effective.
why I'm that's why I'm asking.
Right.
'Cause You
Campus
said you
must
had
look
some
pretty nice.
you had some Florida, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, like how?
And we're our facilities are unparalleled.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
put them against any D1 school. I
Really?
mean, it's
Oh, wow.
yeah, we've got
Okay.
Plus,
nice
there's a lot of
facilities.
space out there.
Well,
And nice dorms, and we treat our girls like a family. I had one of the girls that on the team asked me, said, "Coach, how many kids you got?" So I got 3 boys and 30 girls.
There you go. We'll explain to her, right? She must be like, oh, thanks, Coach. Good.
But we've got girls that they get on a plane and in Orlando, and they fly in, and we pick them up at the airport. And
You're the only family they got for a long ways.
right? Until
That's awesome,
time to go home for Christmas. We had 6 girls that ate Thanksgiving dinner at our family's house.
That's awesome. Coach.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I
so
love
Very
hearing those
family
stories.
oriented.
Yes, we
Like,
try to
that's-
be, yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then obviously Christian based, and that's part of it, right?
Right.
So I love it. I love it. Now, another question is how many coaches do you normally carry on a? Because I know these parents don't know how many
Right.
Yeah.
normally coaches.
So I'm the
you
head
have?
coach, and like I said, and then we've got Coach Mac Spencer McCowan. He's actually here with us today too.
Okay.
And he's been with us for a year. He graduated from CU last year, human performance degree. He does a lot of our strength training and agilities and off-season workouts with the girls. And so he's kind of new to the flag world as well.
Okay.
But he played tackle football, through college, and so he's learned by baptism by fire, learning
Yeah.
how to do
That's the best way.
the flag game. And then we actually have a GA too, a female GA.
Oh, that's cool.
That's been helping us, and she does a lot of our recruiting on the back end, contacting kids. And following up with them, and it's been very helpful to have her. Coach Anna, she's actually originally from Germany, and came over to the U.S. to play soccer, and is going to school at Campbellsville and doing her graduate work and helping us coach. So we have 3 on our staff, which we feel blessed to have that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
'cause some
Is
of them
that
don't.
would you say most schools have that? Is that
I've seen everything. I've seen just a one-person show.
I've seen that a lot as
And then
well.
I've seen, where they have a part-time assistant or a GA. Like I said, I feel pretty blessed. We have, myself and a full-time assistant and a GA.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So, and we do a lot of stuff, making sure that we do mandatory study halls for all freshmen. Try to do some things to make sure, because they are on their own for the first time.
Yeah.
And to make sure that they've got somebody that they can, rely on and count on. And
You got to build that culture, set the standard.
Right.
I love it.
That's awesome, Coach.
I love it. So another question: where do you see flag football in the next 5 years?
Great. Love that.
It's probably going to triple in size, I would say. It's, you know, going back, just looking back just a couple years, our first year, just trying to find players, trying to find teams to play.
Yeah.
And now it's just
Now
exploded.
you got competition.
Yeah, now we got competition.
Pretty easy to set something up.
Right, yeah. So, and again, like I said, we try to do some things, provide an experience for our young ladies, you know, and go places. And, you know, we traveled to Kansas last year, and we stopped at the Gateway Arch in St. Louis and did a tour of the Arch and, you know, do some things,
that's
you know,
nice.
see some things outside of the world of football and give the girls an experience.
Awesome.
You know, so that's something we try to do.
How does it compare schematically? Like you come from the tackle football side, offense and defense, the preparation that goes in to football. How does it compare?
Well, it's there are some similarities, obviously. You're I always use it. You know, watching regular tackle football now and comparing, it's like it's so many people out there. That's what I look at. It's like I'm counting people. Like they've got to have too many out there.
Gotta have too many.
Where's the flag?
What's going on? Yeah.
You know, so you know, from that standpoint, you know, you're dealing with it takes out the dealing with, you know, tackles pulling and
A lot more
blocking
space.
down. You've got a lot more space. Now the field's smaller, but it's a good size for the 7-on-7 and you know, to modify the field. Basically, it's 80 yards and 40 yards.
40, yep.
So it's but still use hash marks. Like I said, the kicking game's completely different. The only thing is a declared punt and punt return.
Okay.
You know, there's no kickoffs, and that's one thing that really threw me for a loop. I was like, why don't they do field goals?
Yeah.
You know, or extra point. I was like, you know, these girls can kick. I've got a couple of girls on our team that kicked for their boys team in high school.
Ah.
You know, but when you go to these tournaments and you go to these places, you're playing on sport
Open
fields
field.
and there's no
Correct.
goalposts.
No goalposts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that
You
makes
know,
sense.
so
Yeah,
but it took me a while. I was like, I don't understand that part of it, but now it makes more sense. So it's, and again, the NAI has evolved and kind of their rules adaptation, you know, of what they, you know, how they do things,
Okay.
and you know, the rush and the blocking has changed a little bit. So you know, it's still evolving.
Correct.
I mean, football's still evolving.
yeah.
Coach, it's radically
Yeah.
different from when even I was a kid, so I'm sure.
But it's you know, I guess the flag game doesn't have a lot of running in it, because it's so quarterback pass
yeah.
driven.
Correct.
We're kind of atypical from that standpoint. We've had a couple really good running backs that.
Is it just air raid concepts? Is that?
It
that
is,
what we're working on?
but we mix in some run with it too. Anything that you can do that's, you know, a double passes. The great thing about flag, I really like as a coach too, is and it took me a while to get used to it, is you know, a lot of laterals go on.
Yeah.
You don't see
Definitely.
that
I
much
love
in regular
that.
football.
I love it.
Because
It's
once
exciting.
Travis Kelce, you see it.
It's
Yeah.
exciting
Right.
football.
But the great thing about flag is when the ball hits the ground, it's dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
fumbles.
there's no fumbles,
No
there's no
risk to
scoop and
lateraling.
score. You don't
Yeah.
have to work, and you know, and they do that to take away the injury component. You know, people
Yeah,
diving
diving.
after ball and stuff. But it makes it exciting too, because at any time, you know, somebody catches a 15-yard out, somebody's trailing behind them. And if you don't get that flag pulled, even if you do, you better have somebody accounting for that person that's trailing them, because they're going to
every
pitch.
play has
I
option
love
rules.
it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's
Essentially.
kind of like what they're working on right now in this little
Yeah.
station back here. They're working on a
Do
pitch
you,
drill.
do you teach it that way, like second level option rules? Like
Yes.
you have a ball, you're always looking for that pitch player?
And it's interesting to see too the level of girls that have played multiple years, especially your Florida girls and Georgia girls that have that experience.
Yeah, yes.
They're kind of used to that.
That game,
So
yeah,
they're
that's fun.
looking right when they're getting ready to get pulled to get a pitch. So the ones that haven't played as much, it's kind of trying to evolve and get them in that
Get 'em
mindset.
going, yeah.
That
Gotcha.
here's another component that you don't see in tackle football. You know,
Kind of like rugby, no?
So
Kinda, a little bit, yeah, without the
Yeah.
contact.
Exactly.
So I know that you want to come out there and look at the girls, but I got one more question and I'll leave you be.
We appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on. by the way.
Definitely.
enjoyed it.
What would you tell parents and young girls that maybe want to start playing flag football? What should they be doing? What's the do's and don'ts? What they should be looking
Parents
for?
hear football and they might freak out.
And they're scared. They're like, oh my God, football? I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
and
So-
it is a different game, and I think just go out and watch some. You know, that's really go out and see it, because especially and now even in Kentucky and Tennessee and some of these other states, it's kind of is slower starting to the flag. You know, have developmental community leagues for younger kids, you know, to get them involved early,
Yeah.
to learn the
That's
concepts.
critical.
And so now that's what we're seeing is some of those girls that have come through those programs, you know, and have done that.
more
It's
infrastructure.
it's just a better understanding. But put in the work, you know, get a football and get out there and throw it with your sister, your brother, your dad, somebody.
Figure it out.
You know,
Just be active.
get reps.
Let's do it.
Get reps, and you know, be a student of the game. Learn to, you know, watch film, and just get involved in these type of things. I mean, it gives a great opportunity to get exposure, but also it's have fun. You know, that's
1,000%.
you know, the great thing about, you know, is just, we always tell the girls is you're here to get a college education. The flag football is the fun part.
Yeah.
You know, and it's an
That's the reward.
avenue to get you to get that piece of paper, because that's what's gonna make a difference in your life when
Yeah.
you're
That's
when you're
gonna change
40
your
years
life.
old.
Correct.
You know,
1,000%.
you're gonna have the memories,
Correct.
you're gonna have the
100%.
connections, you're gonna
The
have
relationships along the way.
relationships along the way. And you know, I look back on there, especially in high school girls, you think, oh, that's my best friends, that's my best friends. Those relationships change.
Yeah.
You know,
You know
and
it.
when you go in college, and some of my buddies I played ball with in college, we're still as close, you know, now
Yeah, definitely.
as we were 30 years ago.
It's a
Just
life-
might not
it's a
talk for 12
lifelong-
months,
yeah.
but you right
Right.
back to it.
But it's
as
a
soon as you do.
lifelong
That's right.
relationship. Yeah. So, Coach, I want to thank you for
Yep,
just
appreciate
giving
it.
us the opportunity just to kind of pick your brain and kind of just educate our parents like what this is, like, because a lot of people, again, like I said, a lot of people are
No
nervous,
idea.
scared. So I love that you guys came out. I love that you guys are like actually active with the girls.
And
This is
parents can see
amazing.
there's cross-state recruiting actively
yeah.
going
Yes,
on
and they
in their
don't-
backyard, and
they
I'm
don't
sure
think
they
that
have
that's
no
even
idea.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I'm sure they have no idea. So
For sure.
this is going to be huge for us, Coach. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, if y'all want to come
Appreciate
up, we'll do it. We do a tournament at the end of March. You want to come up and watch some games?
Yeah.
it. I got to get that approved by the wife, Coach.
But we'll have
you,
eight.
Coach.
We'll have 8 teams there on campus play. I think we got 16 games planned for 2 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've got a couple JUCOs coming, a couple. We got a D2 school coming. The rest are NAIA. So we'll just kind of
In March?
Yeah, in the
Okay.
very end of
Awesome.
March
Yeah, we'll
on
definitely get
Campbellsville's
that info from
campus.
you.
And nothing else, you can maybe promote it a little bit.
That'd be
Yes,
awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
we
of
want
course.
to grow the sport.
We want to help.
We wanna be
help it. That's
alongside
why
that,
we're
man.
here. We want to help.
Yep.
When Antoine called us, I was like, "This is what we want to do. We want to help."
We
promote
said that
this
from the
sport.
jump. We're developers of football talent, and football is no longer just a male sport. And
No.
you know, the longer we don't accept that, we're just
Right.
wasting our time. man.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of talent
we're
out
glad
there.
we can be a part of it.
All right, appreciate it. Thank
Appreciate you guys.
All right,
Thank
nice
you.
to meet y'all.
Thank you.